drinks. Join us. There's Fritzy on the prowl. About to fire. Turn down the background again. So those that are not, there she goes. I give up. I've already fought that battle. It doesn't. She just can't seem to. I've done all kinds of things, and she still won't let it be. So, yeah. Planning her next move. Her protege is around here, also here to do the same thing. So, yeah, those that don't believe that she doesn't turn on the background. We saw that yesterday. Yeah, she's finally chilling out. Finally, just out for the kill. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, looks like she's finally taking it easy. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Taking that for all of us, please. Okay. Yeah, this is a bit unusual for her to be doing that, but it's funny though. All right, it's a time travel from the year 3000. I've done one of those years and years and years ago. So I was going to do the year 10,000, but let's do 3,000 first, see where that goes. I screwed up the title on this. Oh, well. Doctors added Octopus. That's why I forgot to take channeling out of the title. Oh, well, whatever. I'll take that out later. Doctor Strange. And then Octopus. Channeling the Octopus being that showed up. I wasn't looking for that guy. But the time traveler, I'm not sure it's going to be much help to anybody, but something different. Of course, the futures change, minute by or second by second. So anyway, we'll just see what we get on that. And Doctor Strange, I was connecting to him earlier. Of course, I can't remember anything he just said, but yeah, he sort of came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, definitely the multiverse, and he's pretty much a time traveler himself. So we'll see where we can go with that. And Octopus isn't making nobody's really. I connected to the guy from 3000, but I already forgot what he said. Same with Doctor Strange, Octopus. I don't know what the Octopus wants. The octopus runs the world. I actually think a goldfish rules the world, but what do I know? Yeah, I can see a goldfish running the world. A little goldfish, sitting in, a little, what do sit on someone's desk, swimming around a little, just minding his own business and controlling the world. That's what I think is running the world. But what's your version? That's called. It is a goldfish. So anyway, don't call them goldfish or nothing, or gold. So, all right, Fritzy's finally chilling out. Finally, I had to wear them out. They got their toys and just try to get them to chill for a little bit. Jeez. Yeah, she's tuning out. I already saw her comment prep sessions. Yeah, scheduler here. Shop here on the 14th, I believe. Same situation here. We're going to sign up. Social network behind the scenes. So, okay. This might be mostly devoted to the time traveler, so just see where this goes. But just see, because when I connect to them before they show up, they say all kinds of stuff. Of course, I can't remember what he said. It's usually it's interesting. I can tap into it. They can talk to me, and then I forget. And then when they come through here, it's like a totally different person. I mean, it's the same being, but they're just keeping a lot of stuff back. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. If Fritzy is sleeping, man, she's doing me a favor right now. Okay, she was sleeping. Yeah. Take 5. Okay. All right. Here we go. Blessings. Greetings. Greetings to you. My name is Max. I'm from the year 3000. You can say I come from any time period. It really doesn't much matter. There's not much I can really do for you here physically. Um, but I can give you a little bit of what we're allowed to say. Of course, a lot of your beings that are being channeled, not just here, but other beings, of course, a lot of them do come from the future. Of course, they don't have any time. Yes, I realize that. But because your world has time, other worlds have to. They have to have time too, at least when they connect to your planet. So there's no time, but there is time, and your world influences others like you would not believe. So in the future, Pluto is inhabited. It's like a science station. Venus is more of a planet of exploration. It is not quite understood, even in our time. It is a mystery. Yes, it's Earth-like to a certain level, but there's just even realize in year 3000, year 4000, 5000, your world is still physical, like it or not. It still has not quite I mean, there are other versions of it, yes, that graduate, but there's still a physical. I've realized many are having difficulties accepting that, but there, of course, there's different. They can't make everybody happy. But your Venus, well, see, many of you do come from Venus. Maybe you come from Mars, maybe you come from Pluto, and so on. Some of you are from Pluto, and you're really different from people that are here, even other alien beings. When you come from a planet that is not that has different cultures than like a Palladian, world or a Syrian society. Of course, you have Syrians that are different also than other Syrians, but when you're coming from a world like Pluto, for example, you can be an oddball, which has its advantages, but other aliens can't figure out for the life of it. They write books about you. Of course, they don't always have books, but still, they try to figure you out. They're just mystery beings that just exist, and it's just the way it is. Not to say Pluto is understood, no, but there is more of a man visitation there. Obviously, maybe it's tapping into other frequencies, secret space programs, and all that. That will still be a mystery even in the future. Because when you might tap into one version of a secret space program, but then there'll be several other versions that will make your mind spin. Yeah, some of you secret space program people have actually had your minds replaced by someone, another mind. I mean, it's still like your thoughts, your mindset isn't always yours, which is kind of a mind screw altogether. It's a lot of adjustments you're doing here. Well, it's like many of you are not really used to the human program. Let's put it that way. Either way. Jupiter is not even understood, but Jupiter is not a problem planet overall. Venus is a mystery, though, because there's a lot of Venus beings here currently that it's just an enigma. Not to say Jupiter is figured out, it's just that Jupiter is a more of a calmer planet. Venus has a lot of mysteries that have conflicts of interest, let's put it that way, through science, through belief systems, whatever it might be. Jupiter is easier to deal with. Even if that's still an enigma, yes. But Venus is the one that they're trying to terraform in the future. Obviously, they don't have the technologies to do so. There's alien races that don't want that to happen, and so on. Mars is always going to be a political turning point. Mars is at this point a political planet. And you can see that now. Now, are there people there? Well, we'll just go by your timeline into the future, meaning that obviously maybe taking the other timelines, underground base. Of course, there's many underground bases there. Of course, they're not going to make themselves known. Interesting, though. This will get some of you. There's even the energy of Abraham Lincoln on Mars. Well, you can say that mindset to free the slaves, let's put it that way, because there will be kind of a Martian slavery situation going on there. We're just putting that out there for you to, just because you connect to alien races doesn't mean all is well in the neighborhood. China is always keeping something back. China is actually advancing more in other countries. Is humanity together in year 3000? No. It's still diverse. That makes it unique. It challenges itself, even in the higher, or I want to call it the higher dimensions, or just call it the future. It's still diversifying itself. Of course, a lot of technologies or health situations have been cured. Of course, cancer, but of course, then you have another version of cancer. And disease is not something that's going to go away anytime soon. That has a lot to do with the Earth program in general. It's just that I think some of you already know this, but why disease even exists on your planet is like souls, beings that incarnate here, the idea is to kick them out. Come here, do what you're here to do, and get off the planet. That's why it's there. There are other places you can go, you can live forever. Some just want to stay here forever, and that's not going to happen. So that's why it exists here. You can take that as an insult. You can take that as great knowledge, higher dimensional knowledge. You can take wherever you want. So there's just a lot of soul healing here that many just don't want to hear anything. They want to hear what they want to hear. But the truth of the matter is, it's not just that the elites are trying to kick people off. It's just the way of the world is how it's designed. It's designed for people not to be here forever. So once you understand that, it makes things a little bit better. You notice that many just want to just live here, just life is good, and they want to stay here for the long haul, and that's fine. But there's also an expiration date on that too. So us in the year 3000, we still have conflicts. We still have problems. Russia is still causing us difficulties. A lot of countries have changed their name. I'm not going to talk about that. It's not a purpose for talking about. Russia is a major influence, put it that way. I mean, it does a lot of things behind the scenes that's not, and it does it now, actually. So there's a lot of, United States is going through, the United States actually became more primitive, but still advanced, meaning that society went back to the basics, which is not a bad thing. Actually, health is improved. Now, maybe not everywhere, but it's improved. But of course, your world always seems to find a problem with something. But technology is advanced, but not too advanced. They're still going through a lot of self-healing. Are we supposed to tell you your political situations? Oh yes. Those that are into cryptocurrencies, interesting enough, some of you actually incarnate into a cryptocurrency in your future, like become your own coin. And sometimes you want to be loved by everybody or just hated by everybody, whatever it might be. People aren't realizing that. It's like you might be big on this crypto stuff. You might be able to tap into it a little bit too well. So well, there probably are some of those part of your consciousness, part of those cryptocurrencies. Spirituality still has another can to be open, a can of worms to open. So AI is always AI will be seen as more of an alien life form, and still not understood even during our times, but still more explored. Here, you're exploring it to a certain degree, but it's still kind of the early stages of it. Yeah, your electronics and all of that would be seen as like an alien species. Not that your computer's going to go up and walk away, but it's basically seen as like another entity. That's only through certain groups and their philosophies. Let's put it that way. Yeah, even universities might see it that way. It's still kind of controversial by looking at it that way, but it is consciousness, and you're acknowledging that consciousness on different levels. Even a home's consciousness, yeah, more of a spiritual understanding where you live and play. You just understand the consciousness of everything a little bit more clearly, not to the full depths of where you can go, but it becomes more common knowledge as the energy of a home is an energy of a home, and it has consciousness that can talk to you. That's more mainstream. It's not fully understood, but it's more mainstream. So, give you more of an idea. But electronics in general will be, especially AI, will be seen as an entity. And yes, phones talking to people. That's going to, yeah, that's coming. That's you can't stop that. Now, the time frame when it happens on your world isn't very clear. Basically, you talk to your phone, your computer, like it's a person. It hasn't quite got to that level. It's still going to be robotic for quite some time, but there will be a time where you start talking to it, and it's not so bad. It's going to turn like into a friend. That's going to be rough for a lot of people, but many people are glued to their screens already, so it's just like the primitive side of it. So we don't have a time frame for that, but it's inevitable, isn't it? All right. Possibly I might come back tomorrow. There are other things I can go into, but that's a slight introduction. Good night. Greetings. I'm Doctor Strange, a sorcerer, you can say, wizard of the multi-dimension, the multiverse. I'm not exactly of how I've been depicted on your planet. I'm more of like an intellectual wizard being, basically not to mess with your Earth timelines too much. There are a lot of sorcerers that do mess with your timelines quite a bit. A lot of them are off planet. They want to see something happen here. Well, some beings look at your world as like a toy, and then they toy with it, and then society gets affected by it. You're seeing that through the weather. There are some that they use your weather, and they put their consciousness here. So if you can show up, your consciousness can show up as a weather system here on your planet. That gives an alien being an advantage. Like, hey, look, I'm on your planet. I'm a spirit being. My soul, astral essence is here. Um, where you want to go with that, it's up to you. uh, the watch, the time. Having a watch, like someone wearing it, is kind of, some of them are like timekeepers, some are time travelers, sort of. Not really, but it's not something I would recommend. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but having time is like if you wear time. Now, if you have it on your phone, that's one thing, but that's not. But when you actually wear it, it's like you're part of that timeline. It's like you're giving away your power, and some do. They call it convenience, but there's also some mind control that goes with it too. Many of you just, I'm not going to wear a watch. I'm not going to wear any of these things. I don't need time. And that helps you evolve. You might have it on your phone, but your phone can do a lot of other things too. So it's just not, you're not part of that consciousness. So, yes, not wearing a watch. I know not everybody wears a watch, but quite a few people do. It kind of tells you people that are still stuck in this reality. Now, some people look at it differently. I mean, not everyone's obsessed with it, but it, on a vibrational level, it doesn't give off the best energies. I mean, you want to be a free being. Doing that doesn't make you very. Obviously, you have to for work. That's a little bit different. It's similar to like the whole health situation going through. It's like, well, I kind of have to do it for work. That has a different energy. But others are giving away their power to wear a watch. I know it sounds a little strange saying that. But look at how people give away their power, just like that. It's a problem this world's been going through for quite some time. Here's a war, then you join the war because they feel like they need to be a part of it. The rest of you are like, we'll just be a hippie over here and send vibrations. Because war, those that are giving their power away now willingly is, it's, and then they end up dying because of it. So there's a different type of war going on right now. A meaningless war, you can say. Obviously, many of you are not part of that frequency. But as a wizard being, why my consciousness realize a lot of this are not really allowed to be here too deeply. Yes, the reason why some of you aren't getting the attention you like to spiritually is because you're probably bringing information from astral that astral doesn't want you really to bring here. You're allowed to, but there are certain restrictions, meaning not many is going to care and give a crap. Well, because it interferes with the flow of existence here. You, of course, have general healing energies and positive vibrational messages. That's usually where people want to be right now. They're not quite ready to open the door deeply into themselves to a certain level. But it's still, I mean, are many of them ready to go into the astral plane and just like allow those memories to truly come back? Because many are just blocking out because they're just not ready to remember it. Some of you are remembering. That shows that the wizard in you is you're ready to bring a lot of that here. Now, not everybody's here to remember their dreams. Some of you are on like military assignments, and the less you know is the better. But others that aren't on those timelines, you can remember some things. It all depends. You don't mean you have to remember everything, but if you're remembering your dreams, it shows you are part of the flow of life, meaning you're part of the astral realms. You are allowing that to become more part of who you are, and you're becoming basically an astral being. Obviously, you're still in the physical, but still, it's like you're here as human. You're a star seed of all different types, but also you're basically an astral being when it comes down to it. Depends on how much you embrace it. You might remember your dreams, but you don't really go too deeply into it, and that's okay. Just by you remembering them, some form of it, shows you that you are, kind of like a magician being yourself to a certain degree. And you're bringing what is necessary here. Not everything, obviously. If you're all open up to the astral plane, allowing all this to come here to the planet, I mean, your planet would look so different than it looks now. The water would look like it would be purple, greens. It would be just such a different vibration. Some of you would be flying. You would teleporting. It'd just be a bizarre mess. Not a bad mess, but you have dinosaurs walking around. You'll have furniture talking to you. And so on. So yeah, multi versions of you. You'll be like having dinner with family and then see like other versions of you, like alien versions of you, maybe realities where you're green, blue, or have two heads in other dimensions. So that's when your world really, yeah, you're looking for an ascension in a new earth. Well, a new earth can look very different here. Well, there'll be less of you here because the world's been healed. So they don't need I mean, maybe many of you would be here in the future when there's no reason for everyone to be here anymore, because it just connects to the Akashic of the planet, still healing it. But the work has been done here. What it has here to teach is now over. So some of you are just coming here for artifacts and things of that kind. Now, when that timeline starts is a whole nother story. It doesn't seem like you're quite ready for that one yet. Greetings. We are the Octopus Collective. Yes, we are known to take over worlds, their consciousness. Yes, be a being of the sea, a being that smart and sometimes aggressive, but also steering how your world operates, where it goes. So much of your sea life is more intelligent than you might realize. That could easily be controlling your world. Not that we're saying we are at this time. But you have to connect to that on your own. Yes, to find the beings that here are controlling your consciousness. Why all the chaos? Well, some would say, why not? Well, the idea is to keep you from figuring out who is controlling your world. Some of you are getting close, and then you get astral attacks, you get mental attacks, you get depression. You might know more here than you realize, but you're so confused by being here, obviously tapping into it. And of course, if a fish being is controlling society, how many of you are looking in that direction? How about nobody? Not really. They know there's a lot of mysteries in the sea and is planning to keeping it that way also, at least for now. Yes, there's the space, but it's hard to hide things in space. Well, you can hide things, but the ocean is being hidden from you for many, many reasons. There could be all kinds of science discoveries there, and there is, but you're not getting any of that. And there's also the deserts. There's a lot going on there, but not going to be made public. So the ocean's kind of like off limits. I mean, yes, you can go into the ocean, but obviously the deeper regions of the ocean can say a lot more about your planet. There's archaeologists. There's the technology isn't really here. Of course, some of you see different realities where the technology is more advanced, and where I could go into that, but your ocean really has the answers to everything. Well, it has more questions, but it has more answers to a lot of your questions. But of course, more questions will come out of it. A lot of continents are under the ocean right now that can answer a lot of things. Right now, they're pretty much well hidden at this time. Some of you have been time traveler beings or remote viewers. You can see your world as a totally different place. You can also remote view your energy into like a dinosaur being or even a person living in a different era and seeing it from their point of view, what kind of world they're living. Like you can call it remote view. You can call it something else. We'll just call it remote viewing. Basically, a remote view into someone in the past, like time travel, basically. Time travel into someone's consciousness of the past, Jesus's time period if you want, or any time period for that matter. The past is easier to see than the future. The future is usually off limits. The past is a place, for some of that are curious. Yeah, can obviously when you connect to certain places, you can easily get worn out, tired out, or shut down altogether. This is where your secret space program controls much of the past. Yes, it's in another dimension, but still, it's keeping your past hidden from you for obvious reasons, like how the pyramids are built and everything. Keeping it as confusing as possible. Yes, it's Artarian energies. They're giving you a little bit an idea of what the past is, but not everything, of course. Yes, it's like a deck of cards, but it's all mixed up. Those are the timelines of the past. So you can get the timeline that works for you, the timeline that's speaking to you. Yes, you might not be able to prove the timeline that you feel is right for you, but you just feel what version of Earth you come from, because there's trillions of different paths to this Earth, and you all come from somewhere different. So having just one origin doesn't really work. Yeah, multiple origins, that works better. Multiple history books, like billions of them. And you're doing that now. You're slowly uncovering that. Of course, it's not always going to work for everyone. Yes, it is a complicated past you have here. But that's why it's making it so difficult for the ascension to increase, or for the higher dimensions to come in, because identifying yourself obviously is the hardest thing. Like when you're born, usually it's like the idea is to like telepathically know what planet, star system, spirit realm you come from, and then to keep that light going on throughout your life. Your memory is keeping everything going. Obviously, many aren't doing that, but that's what you're here to do, is for the memory to be retained. You're wondering what your path is here. That's a big part of it. Future generations. Your generation right now matters, yes. But look at the past. There's always a generation to build up to a generation building, and that's what's happening now. It all has a purpose. The idea is you feel like you have a purpose, but you do. That's the trick here. They get you to not want to connect, believe in yourself, obviously, so they can shut you down and keep things as confusing, convoluted as they can. Yes, it's always going to be confusing, but you can find clarity out of confusion, like where you come from.